He's one of South Africa's most outspoken leaders, a supporter of the ruling African National Congress, who's unafraid to publicly point out the party's failures.
Look at the number of people that are here. They are unemployed. And you're seeing unbelievable levels of deprivation. It's very sad.
Many see him as the new moral conscience of a country at a crossroads. This week on African Voices, trade union activist Zwelinzima Vavi. (1976), a watershed year for South Africa. Young people rose up and helped ultimately to topple the oppressive apartheid regime. 35 years on, trade union leader Zwelinzima Vavi believes the new democratic order may soon witness a similar revolt.
You've warned that South Africa risks another 1976 uprising. Tell us what you mean by that.
Look, I've been here and myself a victim of child labor and worse forms of discrimination. I've grown up and to aspire to be something in life, and I've participated in the struggle, and I know what type of aspirations and hopes all of us carried throughout those many dark years of struggle against apartheid. I've been here when I saw the emotions of the release of the international icon, Nelson Mandela and others. I've seen the return of exiles. I've participated in the votes for the first time, and on the 27th of April in 1994. I've been part of these emotions, and I know what have been the hopes of the overwhelming majority of people who participated in all of those things. I'm only pointing out that after 17 years of all that democracy in the country, we've seen little change when it comes to economic freedom. As I normally say, we have economic freedom. We have we have a political freedom, but the economic jewelry is not hanging in our necks. We have unemployment that I've already described, 36.6%. We have 48% of our people living in poverty. We're now number one in the world when it comes to inequalities. We've surpassed Brazil and many other Latin American economies in terms of inequalities. We are in trouble. We are simply in trouble. And when it comes to service delivery, and I was participated in the local government elections, and I see the face of poverty every day. It's grinding, humiliating type of poverty that many people will be on the streets demonstrating if they were to be subjected to the same conditions that the poor are subjected to in the country. And already, in my view, we're seeing an implosion in the country. Johannesburg at some point was living behind a ring of fire. In Mpumalanga, in every province of South Africa, you saw the service delivery protest. And having interacted with that thing, I'm of the view that even if we can get the best councillor elected in some of those rural towns, you're not going to get that situation turned around. And with the best mayor you can get in the world, the crisis is structural. As long as your economy is not put in a new growth path that can absorb large numbers of youth into employment. In South Africa, we're sitting with that unemployment. You know that 73% of all the people who are unemployed are below the age of 35. That's a crisis. That's 1976 waiting to happen again. And we've urged that we must address that crisis with the necessary speed. And my sense is that more and more South Africans are now coming to accept that that is true. If we don't do something urgent enough with the crisis of youth unemployment in South Africa, we will be in Tunisia and Egypt very soon.
Why do you think there hasn't been urgency within the ruling party to address this issue?
There's been, in my view, a serious lack of political willingness.
Why?
Because people are not put under pressure enough. You know, when you feel that your tomorrow is guaranteed, your levels of support are guaranteed, you tend to loosen up and the agency disappears. That's what has been lacking, you know.
Is it because South Africa doesn't...
Let me tell you something. When we went to the votes, I heard lots of leaders saying, how could our people still live under these conditions after 17 years? And I said, no, how could your memories be so short? We went and we got exposed to the same levels of deprivation way back. First 10 years of democracy, 2004. It was very clear that our economic policies have not responded to the challenges our people are facing. But we stuck to the tried and tested. We just redoubled the dose. And at some point, as we said in post-2007, we just changed the bottles, but the wines were still the same. And nothing have changed in terms of macroeconomic policies that we're pursuing.
When we return,
I grew up receiving daily, should I call it indoctrination? But I understood that there's something wrong, something fundamentally wrong.
from fighting injustice during apartheid to confronting inequality in a new South Africa.